Guys, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. In fact, you know what? There is only one thing for this. Just when you think you can rely on Outlander in these desperate times of need to cheer you up, along it comes with this episode. And it makes everything just a whole damn sight worse. I'm not sure how we're going to get through this. Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome to today's episode of the vlog. My name is Shaun and I'm a YouTuber from Edinburgh in Scotland. Right here on my channel you have been used to me doing Outlander reviews over the years, talking about Scotland, talking about Scotland's relationship with other places like the United States of America, for example. And that's why I think Outlander has been so fascinating, this connection between Scotland, Scottish people, and the Americas to where they actually ended up. This season, Outlander, Season 5, has been fascinating, and I'll get into it in a little minute, guys. But first of all, I just want to say welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. As always, it means so much to me. It's great to speak to you, as always. Please, if you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button and join the family. Today, I'm going to review and give you a reaction, my reaction to Outlander, Season 5, Episode 7, The Ballad of Roger Mack. And guys, there will be spoilers in this, big spoilers. I didn't want to see these spoilers, so if you don't want to see spoilers, turn this off, watch the episode, and then come back and speak to me in a few days' time. This was probably one of the most iconic episodes I can remember for such a long time, so I had to talk about it. I have to talk to you. I need to talk to someone because it was so heartbreaking and tragic. And I'll get to that review. I just want to say, first of all, a lot of people have been asking in my comment section why I have not been reviewing Season 5 of Outlander. And there are two main reasons why I've not been reviewing the season. First of all, is a more practical reason. Now, as you guys know, the series is owned by STARZ in America, and they have a lot of different distribution partners around the world. So here in the UK, for example, we can watch it on Amazon, which is partnered with STARZ. But they only release it here in the UK 24 hours, more than 24 hours after they release it in the United States on the Saturday night, Sunday morning. And then I can watch it on the Monday evening now, and by the time I review it and put it online, it's probably going to be, either very late on Monday or Tuesday. And to be absolutely honest with you guys, I have looked at my stats over the years, and I know this for a fact. It's already old news. This episode will already be old news by the next couple of days, and people won't watch it as much as if I was able to post it on Sunday. But I'm not able to watch the episode on Sunday, unfortunately. So that has been a really big annoyance of mine. In the past, I was able to use a sneaky wee VPN, but STARZ have put a stop to that, and it's now impossible if you live in the UK. So that is the first reason that I've not been reviewing Outlander Season 5. Another big reason, and I'm going to be absolutely honest with you guys, this season I have enjoyed it a lot, right? But I have not been inspired to come out with any words. I feel like I have writer's block after watching Outlander this season, and I don't know what it is. I cannot put my finger on it. Maybe it is the world in which we live in right now. There is so much going on. I have had a lot of anxiety and stress about this whole virus situation and us being locked in. I don't know. Guys, I've tried to put my finger on it. I've tried to wrap my brains and think about this, and I don't have any answers. I have not felt inspired to say anything. I have lost my words. I've sat down in front of the camera after watching an episode each week and tried to speak, and I've had nothing to say. And like I say, that's not necessarily a reflection on the season because I have enjoyed it. It's been good. It's not been my favourite season by any stretch of the imagination, but it has been good. I have enjoyed it. The acting has been great as it has been throughout the seasons. The set, Scotland, North Carolina, all the rest of it. I just haven't been able to find the words. But today, that has changed. Everything has changed because that was an episode today. The Ballad of Roger Mack, that was an episode that took me back to early Outlander, Season 1 and 2. The episodes, the seasons that just really set me alight with this series, that made me fall in love with it. Today was back to those days, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys thought. But like I said, one of the problems for me is I'm not able to watch it until Monday nights. And that means it's very difficult to avoid spoilers. I've been trying my best over the last 24 hours to avoid spoilers online, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and all that. But it's been very difficult to avoid those spoilers. So, let's try as I did. I knew that something tragic was going to happen in this episode. A lot of people said it was very good, online, Twitter for example, but a lot of people said there was going to be something tragic that's going to happen, and I knew someone was going to die, right? I tried to avoid the comments. I did not manage to see who was going to die, right? I managed to avoid that, but I knew someone was going to die. And I had my suspicions, guys. I had my suspicions. And then it opens with Roger Mack saying goodbye. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a bit weird. Maybe it's not who I think it's going to be who dies. Maybe it's Roger Mack. After all, his name is in the title of the episode. It would make a little bit of sense. And there was just a lot of kind of emotional build-up there with Roger and Bree and saying goodbye and all that kind of stuff. And you're thinking, maybe, just maybe, this is a plot twist we're not expecting. Now, you book readers, of course, will know the answer to this already, right? But me, as someone who hasn't read the books this stage, doesn't know what's going on, right? If it is Roger that ends up dying, I wouldn't know any better. Presumably, you guys who have read the books will be spared this misery. Anyway, we've been building up throughout this season of the Regulators and their actions towards having some kind of brawl with Governor Tryon and the British soldiers. The British garrison, I don't know what you'd call them. Anyway, the British presence in North Carolina. The governor of the whole state, Governor Tryon, has been bruising for a fight, and Murtagh Fitzgibbons has been top of his list as the leader of the Regulators. And this is all in history. This is why I love Outlander, guys. A lot of people ask me why I watch Outlander. Part of it is because they're telling the story of real history. So, Brianna, who is a time traveller, obviously, knows when she sees the name of the battle, when she sees on the map where it's going to be, she recognises through her education in America that something was going to happen at that spot, and she knew the outcome.
I've come to warn you.
Elements.
Some people consider this to be the spark of the American Revolution.
It was a real life battle that happened, and Brianna recognised it from her history. And she races off on her horse to catch Jamie, who's gathered his militia, and Roger, Captain Roger, and comes to tell them the news. Jamie's going to be doing everything he can to try and stop this from happening, right? This massacre. And Brianna confirms it. Through her history, she knows that this battle, that the Regulators are going to be almost wiped out. The militia, led by Jamie, are going to be triumphant, and it's going to be a bloodbath, right? Murtagh is on the other side, on the Regulators, as we know, and is leading that force. How can this end up well? It can't end up well, surely. And then Claire takes up her familiar role as the nurse in these battlefields. We remember this from Preston Pans, when she was on the field helping soldiers, wounded soldiers, trying to save their life, and she was back in that role again. It was really, really interesting to see that, her as a field practitioner saving lives on the battlefield. That really took me back to the early seasons when she was doing that. Like I said, season 1 and 2 were my favourites by far, season 3 as well. And to see her in that role again, it really brought those memories back to me. Now she has penicillin. She's made penicillin. Will that make a difference? She thinks it will. She actually references the Battle of Preston Pan, so it could actually make a difference. Bree catches up with him and warns him, listen, this is going to be a massacre. And Murtagh is on the opposing side. You need to go and try and stop them from having this battle because they're going to lose and they're all going to die. Roger volunteers bravely to go into the enemy camp, into Murtagh's camp, and tries to have a word with them. Listen, history tells us that this is going to happen. You're all going to be wiped out, Murtagh, please. For the sake of your family, for the sake of your godson, for the sake of everyone who cares about you, Murtagh, do not do this. Roger tells him, listen, leave. If they're going to fight, if they cannot be stopped, leave them. Let them get on with it. You go and save yourself. But we know Murtagh. We know him. He's a stubborn man. He will not drop this. He will not just simply leave this and leave his men to go out and battle. He will be part of it. And we have this whole thing with Governor Tryon and the minister in the middle. Is he a priest or minister? Anyway, trying to make this kind of deal between the two sides to stop the war. But of course that's not going to happen. No chance. But Roger is there in the camp with Murtagh. And Murtagh says, listen, you need to leave now. Right? This is done. It's set. It's decided. You need to leave quickly. He's on his way out. Typical Roger. Typical. He always finds himself in bother, right? He's almost out of there. He's almost gone, and then he bumps into who other than Mistress Mackenzie, the woman they met on the boat on his way over from the British Islands over to the colonies. And of course he wants to have a wee chat, and he realises that she is on the other side, and she and her husband need to leave this war because they're going to die as well. She's pregnant. They can come and stay in Fraser's Ridge. Back and forward between the two sides now, and we're on the camp with Jamie and the militia. And Governor Tryon is like, here, Jamie, you need to take this red coat. You've earned it. Jamie's face was a picture. I mean, his acting in this episode, Sam Heughan, his acting was absolutely astounding throughout this episode. But it was all, again, and I've said this in the past before, he's been able to do it with using expressions more than actually saying anything. His face said 1,000 words when he took that red coat and put it on. It was like all the memories, the bad memories he's had of the red coats. Blackjack Randall, it was almost like flashbacks of Blackjack Randall. It was flashbacks of Culloden, certainly. And now he was wearing a red coat. Anyway, Roger Mack, he's in the camp still with the regulators and he gets himself in a bit of bother, right? Mr. Mackenzie shows up. And I'm thinking to myself, I know this guy. That's Dougal. What's he doing here? Wait, I've not checked this up, right? I've not looked up there officially to see it's Dougal. It was not the actor himself, Graham McTavish. But it was him, right? I'm not went mad. That was him, surely. Please tell me I'm right. Otherwise, I've just lost the plot entirely during this whole quarantine situation. The reason I think it was him, actually, was his angry, benevolent manner in which he dealt with Roger Mack. Knocks him unconscious, and we're thinking, this is trouble. The Ballad of Roger Mack, could this be it for him?
Shaun, his name is Dougal Mackenzie.
Yeah.
It might be his son.
Tekka makes a very good point. It might be Dougal Mackenzie's son. Is it Dougal Mackenzie's son? Played by the same actor, of course. They kept that one quiet, guys. They kept that one very quiet, if that's the case. But I think that is a character that will be out in the future. Dougal Mackenzie's son. I had heard about that, talked about on the forums and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't really understand what it meant because, well, you guys who read the books will know. Maybe it is Dougal Mackenzie's son and it's played by the same guy, Graham McTavish. That would be a turn up for the books. We thought he was long gone with Outlander, but he's back in it apparently. Anyway, maybe he died in the battle, we don't know. We hear the bagpipes. This is all just mood setting for what this is going to be, this episode. It's going to be mad, it's going to be wild, it's going to be tragic, right? When Claire sees Jamie in the red coat, she comes out with her famous line. Brilliant. Cannot believe seeing Jamie in a red coat. I'm not sure if that was something from the books, but I think it was a brilliant touch to put in the series, for sure. It was absolutely incredible to put that. You know, it brings out all these emotions in us, the viewer, seeing that. I mean, of course, we saw it in the trailer for this series, which was a bit of a giveaway. Maybe they could have saved that part for the actual episode. So it wasn't any big surprise it was going to happen, but it's still shocking when you see it. And as we're getting prepared for battle, and it commences, and the firing, and all that kind of stuff, we're thinking, this is Outlander of old. This is the Outlander that I really liked. Maybe it's the battle scenes that I like. I don't know. But I really felt like this was the Outlander of old for me. Help me! The battle scene. Wow, it was an amazing, intense. I felt like I wish I was part of it. I wish I was part of the cast. I wish I was an extra in that battle scene because it just looked absolutely incredible. Filming in the Scottish wilderness, in the woods, basically. I've been to those woods. Governor Tryon ordering Jamie and his men, fire on them or fire on me. I felt like thinking to myself, I was like, why don't you just fire on him? Get this over and done with. History be damned. But this whole battle, you know what, had an inevitability about it. It had something coming really, really bad. I knew the whole way through it. But nothing prepares you, right, for losing someone like that. And in that manner, in such a stupid manner, that little boy, what was his name? Fool of a boy. Murtagh appeared in front of Jamie and they have a moment. And it's their last moment because the boy, commanded by Jamie, who was ordered not to haver, shoots Murtagh in the chest. And then Jamie and Murtagh have their final moment under that tree. And this is where I have to get my whiskey out because it was a difficult scene to watch. The acting between both Duncan LaCroix and Sam Heughan in their final moments together in Outlander. It was just absolutely incredible. And I want to raise a glass right now. Please join me in raising this glass to Murtagh, who we all thought had died. I knew he didn't die earlier on in season 3 at Culloden. We all thought he was a goner then. I knew he was coming back, and he came back in a glorious manner last season. But now, he is finally gone. And the whole thing was just so heart-wrenching. I'm not going to lie, guys. It hit me hard. I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay. Especially given the situation that we're all facing right now at home, quarantined. So, one last time, raising a glass for the legend that is Murtagh. Guys, I'm not okay. Like I said, I am not okay with this. How could they bring him back into our lives like that? And take him away so cruelly? And that is why I say that this episode took me back to Outlander of old. I had so many emotions in season 1 and 2 because there were so many heartbreaking moments. The losses of people that you grew to love, right? And I feel like we haven't had that for a while on Outlander. But today, we had it. Outlander gave us some punches right in the stomach, right where it hurts. Murtagh was such a big part of this show. I don't think anybody expected him to be, but he became such a big part of this show. That's why, ultimately, they brought him back. And for him to be shot in such a manner and die in such a manner, Jamie tried to save him. He was already dead, of course, but Jamie pulled him to Claire and said, Claire, save Murtagh, please save him. And she couldn't do it. Unfortunately, he was gone. And then Jamie, of course he was angry. He was furious at this point. Couldn't even look Governor Tryon in the face when he wanted to celebrate. This is not a moment for celebrating. Guys, I don't really have any more things to say on this episode because it was just so tragic that we lost Murtagh in such a fashion. Like I said, I'm not okay. I don't know if you guys are. Let me know in the comments, please. I want to know your thoughts. It is the end. We have to say goodbye now. You know, there's a lot of characters we've said goodbye to in Outlander. And this was one of the best ones. And now he's gone. That's what the show does to you. And that's what a good show does. It makes you really emotional. It makes you feel things. And that's what this episode did. But it wasn't over. Because we got to the end of the episode. And we see that Tryon had hung the men who he considered to be traitors. We're still missing Roger Mack. He was caught up in that whole thing with Dougal, or not Dougal, whoever it was, right? Up in the woods there. We don't know where Roger is. Everybody's frantically looking for him. And then they see a man hung on a tree, wearing the same clothes, and with the white handkerchief coming out of his pocket. Is that Roger? Have we got 2 major deaths in one day? If I had to choose one of them, I'd be frank. Probably Roger over Murtagh, to be honest with you. Have we lost Roger as well? Is that why it was in the title, The Ballad of Roger Mack? I mean, this is just too much to take in one day. I'm already going through a lot. I think, no. There's been a mix-up here. There's been a terrible mix-up, right? You guys who read the books, you guys know this. This can't be the way. Tell me it's not the way. In fact, don't tell me. Let me watch till end of next week. Let me watch until next week's episode because I'm sure they're going to pull the cover over his face and it's not going to be him, surely. But maybe it is. Maybe he is a big character that goes as well. Guys, I don't know. I don't know. This episode took me way back. Like I said, I'm not okay right now. I'll be fine after I finish my whiskey, maybe. And that was it. Outlander, Season 5, Episode 7. The Ballad of Roger Mack. I want to know your thoughts down in the comments down below, please. Let me know that you're doing alright during this whole quarantine situation. I genuinely want to know that you're all okay, please. Let's discuss Outlander. Let's discuss this episode. It'll be good to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff if you want to get involved in the conversation. It'd be great. I'd be delighted to hear from you. But that's it for today's episode. I'm emotional. I'm not okay. Until the next one, I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is wherever you are in the world. Take care.